Hello. So I said I'd do more frequent vlogs, then obviously went away for a week or stopped posting for a week. I've realised that I need to do vlogs in a morning, of a morning, not during the day or of an evening. For the last probably week I've intended to do a vlog on that particular day, and I've gotten to the time that I've designated that I'd do it, and I've run out of energy and there can be bothered to actually set up the camera and talk. So it's now 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's the 12th of December. It's Tuesday when this is being recorded. Notes are also helpful. So I've got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, and then a very awkward thing to talk about. First up, vinyl masks. I've got a video coming out on this. This particular sign is the Spanish Inquisition Monty Python thing, and vinyl masks are fantastic. I'm really pleased with the results of this. So after applying the mask, there's been no further sanding. It then went to the CNC, spray painted, removed all the mask, and it's come out exactly like that. The final pleasant thing to talk about is this drill press. This is a Bosch drill press for those in North America only, I think. Bosch Green may be a bit unfamiliar to you. It is their DIY brand. I requested this rather than Bosch saying, hey, we've got this thing, will you do a review? I will be doing a review on this. As some of you would be aware, I've got a Hafco generic drill press. It is 1 horsepower, 16 speed, and a piece of garbage. The chuck is no good, the quill wobbles a bit, the height adjustment, the depth adjustment mechanism, I've broken before because of really crappy castings. The table flexes quite a bit, so you have to be gentle at the drill press, and that's the cast iron table, so it doesn't really matter what you build on top of it, the flex is always going to be there. And the table is tilted forward, so you have to shim it up, so it's just a pain. And in all honesty, I don't use a drill press that much. Yes, I do use it on a fair few projects for 1 or 2 holes, but I could do that with a hand drill for the most part. There are some occasions where I have a big bit. This is a 40mm bit. And that is a pain to use with a hand drill, particularly going into end grain or for very accurate holes. Thing is, with that drill press that I've got, really accurate holes don't happen anyway, so I've been looking at alternatives. This one goes for about 450 Australian dollars, I think it is. And it is interesting. As I said, it is a hobbyist grade machine. That's why it's green. But I want to see how well it would work for me. I don't really do metal. This will do metal, but it is more, as I said, hobbyist machine, so blah, blah, blah. Should be better for wood. What makes it interesting is that it's fully electronic. So speed control on any drill press under $1,500 in Australia is all change the belts manually, no rear drives or anything like that. If you go above $1,500, I think there's a rear drive jet available, and then for 2,400 there is the new Nova Voyager drill press, which to me that would be amazing. It's also really expensive. Like, that's a good portion of a workshop setup in a drill press, a tool that I don't use that much. So this is a much better alternative, potentially, and much better for me and my budget rather than better machine. Weighs in at about 15 kilos. So what's really interesting is it becomes kind of like a workbench appliance, much like my Moxon vise that I'd chuck up here. Put it between some dogs and it's clamped down. This actually fits under my workbench, under the overhang. So variable speed. Has a 0 thingy for depth. Has a laser that can't be adjusted, and a light. Light I love. The speed range is like is 200 RPM to, I think, 3000 RPM. But yeah, this arrived last Friday, so I haven't really had a chance to play with it, but it works pretty well. I need to use some bigger bits in it. It's not without its flaws, obviously. The throw on it this way isn't the greatest. Probably isn't an issue for what I do. Let's see, the depth stop, it works, it's a bit annoying. And the overall travel isn't too bad actually. It'll do what I want it to do, but probably not much more. You could probably extend it if you could find a compatible rack and shaft, if that's the right diameter, screw it to that, probably work. But yeah, interesting little unit. So I'll probably put that to work later today. I need to make a hex bolt for my Allen key. So the last thing on my list to talk about is Patreon. Don't worry, this is not, hey, go contribute to Patreon. Quite the opposite actually. If you haven't been keeping up to date with all news for creators and stuff, I guess, Patreon are changing their fee system. So previously, if you were a patron or a supporter of a particular creator and you wanted to pay $5, you would pay $5. That $5 then goes to Patreon. They take their cut, PayPal takes their cut. The creator gets something like 80% to 90% depending on fees, the amount, blah, blah, blah. Not a big deal. Patreon announced that that's no longer going to be the case. Instead, you're going to be, if you are a supporter, you're going to be charged that fee, the transaction fee. So if you pay $1, you'll then be paying $1.30, or it might be $1.37, and that's US dollars. Then Patreon will take their cut of that dollar and the rest will go to the creator. So the creator will get 95% flat rate. Absolutely no creators I have seen have actually wanted these changes. Patreon insists that it will benefit all the creators. And look, I don't have a massive Patreon supporter base. That's fine. Any support I get is amazing. Quite recently, I've had an SD card die. Thanks to the Patreon supporters, I didn't have to worry about that. It was just, no, I can fix this problem immediately, and I haven't had any downtime because of it. That has been amazing. So Patreon is insisting that this will help creators. I've already had 2 people go, nah, extra fees for the sake of extra fees, not acceptable. And I can't blame them. What I'm thinking about doing is abandoning the platform altogether. Because trust is something that's earned. And Patreon have not demonstrated that they can be trusted, basically. They've spoken to bigger creators and none of them have had any reassuring words to say about the situation. They've basically said Patreon is aware that they've messed this rollout up, but they're still going to go with it. They're not going to listen to the community that are going, this is not okay. Now, the extra 30 cents probably doesn't sound like a lot, but that's per transaction because that's how they're going to do it. So if you support one creator for $100, it'll cost you $100 and maybe $108, something like that. That's still an increase, but not a massive difference. But if you were to support 100 creators for $1, you're getting slugged that transaction fee every time. So you'd be paying $130, $137. And that's where it's getting really awkward. There are a lot of Patreon campaigns that are made up of those $1 tiers, or $1 supporters. And that's fantastic. People are giving where they can. They're supporting their favorite creators. And it is a great sense of community that people are doing that. We're not relying on ads. We're, lots of people saying, yes, this is good, keep it up. There are people who have lost hundreds of subscribers and patrons overnight. Again, I don't fall into that category, but there are some who have lost hundreds to thousands of dollars overnight because of this one change. If Patreon was to go back to their old payment method, those people wouldn't come back, and I can't blame them because trust is something that's earned and Patreon has thrown that away. So I'm not sure where I'm at at this stage, but I'm very seriously considering just dropping Patreon and not supporting their shady business practices. There have been numerous times where they've not earned their keep type thing, and numerous times where they've demonstrated that they don't care about the little guy. They're after the people who are pulling in tens of thousands of dollars per month rather than tens of thousands of creators pulling in $100 per month. So yes, I'll make a decision on that in the next few days because their new Patreon stupid payment thingy comes into effect on the 18th. So I'll be making my decision before that. Anyway, that is all for today. Thanks for watching.